Howdy, Erudite Cowboy here, talking about how to sharpen up your razors, because it's an important thing to do is be able to maintain your razors. This one here is a piece of junk. One day I'll destroy it. I'll show you all the things you shouldn't do to a razor. But today I'll show you my sharpening routine for my buddy Nicholas. He's been asking me about that. Now I've got 3 different stones that I use for sharpening. This one here seems to have, I'm not gonna say it's coarse grit, nothing coarse about it. It's fairly smooth and slick, but when you compare it to this stone, this one here feels like glass next to that one. So this one's got a bit of a grit. It's the first one that I use. This one, a lot glassier. It'll be the second one that I use. Either one, by the way, will give me a good enough edge to shave with, so just keep that in mind. And then once in a while, I may shave with this one. It's kind of gimmicky. It's got these little divots on there. And the information that came with it, so these are all vintage stones, by the way. They're old. They've had some hardship in their lives, but they still work. A good stone will last forever, basically. I imagine these are 50, 60 years old at this point. The divots on this one here are said to prevent you from over sharpening your stone, getting to a point where you get so fine that it starts to turn over and then it's no longer sharp. This will remove that, is what it says. So I'll play with that. Sometimes I'll use that. Now, as far as the actual method that I use, I'm probably not the best example of it. There's probably guys out there who do it a lot better than me, but it works for me. What I'll do is I'll get a stream of water, just a little trickle going along here, and I will take my stone, hold it flat in my hand, just in the sink, just under the running stream of water, and I will run it. Mind you, first of all, we're going to put it flat on the stone. See how it just goes like that? They are hollow ground, which means that the thickness of the spine is just thick enough to give you the perfect edge out there. So you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is lay it flat on the stone, and I'll draw it like I'm trying to slice off a little bit of the stone. I'll draw it like so, working from the heel to the front. Come back around the other side, and I'll come back the other way. And my magic number, about 40 or 50 strokes. It's about usually what I'll do with a stone. And when I'm happy with the edge that I've got on that stone, then I'll go to the next stone that's a little bit, unless I feel like just shaving right away. Sometimes I'll do that because any one of the stones will do a good enough job. Kind of just how I feel about it. If I feel like that, I've let that edge go too long, then I'll go ahead and work through my stones to get it as fine as I can. The next thing to keep in mind is that you got to have a nice leather strop. And a leather strop, you don't work toward the edge. You don't cut like you're trying to slice off a little bit. You don't do that with the strop. What you do is you go the opposite way. So you'll take it and pretend my hand is a strop, and you work against, like so, just dragging your blade across. And for me, that's 20 strokes. That's 10 on each side. And it's fairly quick. You do that. You do that every time before you shave, because what it does is it sets that edge. Whatever minor imperfections have happened as it's been sitting there, wherever you keep it, on a shelf or so, whatever happens, that will kind of get some waviness and such. Take it across that strop, and that straightens that out quite a bit. Oh, and the last thing to mention is, if you've got a blade that's really kind of you've let it go a little bit too long and it's not cutting very well at all, you can test. You don't want to do this sort of thing and running your thumb across it. It doesn't tell you a thing. But if you take your fingernail and you lightly rub or drag that blade across your fingernail, if it glides across, that's not sharp. If it feels like it wants to tug a little bit, and I told you this is a piece of junk, so it's not gonna tug, and I don't know that I could sharpen it the rest of my life and never get a good edge on there. It's just not a good piece of steel. But a good one, you'll put it on right away, and it just feels like it's holding on a little bit, and it is. It's digging into that nail a little bit. You want to do that carefully, by the way. I hope that's enough for you there, Nicholas. Hope that's helpful to you. Remember your cow bees. And, be keen, be a thinker, be an observer, and stay erudite. Thank you so much.